Let's talk about the real estate market, right? Right now, the real estate market is so hot. And if you're a buyer, I apologize in advance because it has been extremely hard to get into houses because of the limited inventory, right? So in this video, we're going to discuss the multiple offer situation and how we can set you up to win in a seller's market. Let's get started. You want to make sure when you connect with a lender that you're not only pre-qualified, that you are pre-approved, right? And they're two different things. Being pre-qualified just says that they quickly looked at all of your information and they said, yes, you would qualify for a loan. The pre-approval process requires a little bit more information on the front end in order to make sure that there won't be any hiccups when it comes to you purchasing that home. And sometimes banks will take it or lenders will take it a little step further and they will process your loan through the first steps of underwriting, and that makes for a very strong buyer situation. So if you have an opportunity to speak with your lender and you can see if they can put you through the first steps of the underwriting process, it makes you look more qualified for that home. So that's number one. Number two is to be very, very clear with yourself in this market. Understand the type of house you want, whether it be a single family home, a condo, a attached townhome. Make sure you're very clear. Sit down, make a plan of exactly what are must-haves, things that you can't live without, and then things that maybe if you don't have this, you're still okay with the house. You got to get very, very clear with yourself and the type of house that you're looking for in this market, because the days of thinking it over overnight are gone. I mean, we rarely see an opportunity for you to say, you know, I'm going to think about it and get back to you and let you know if this is the house for me. So going into it with a plan and understanding with your realtor exactly what you're looking for will save you time and also give you the ability to react in a very fast pace, comparably speaking, to maybe some of the other buyers that are still kind of weighing out their options, don't know if this is their correct house, because sometimes it may just be that first house that you saw. That could be the difference between you securing a house and you not securing a house. So make sure that you have all of your ducks in a row and you know exactly the type of house, the type of location that you want to be in. Number three, which is also a very good strategy that I have put into place when I'm dealing with buyers. So you want to make sure that when you are in the process of writing that offer, that you have already reached out to your inspector, because there are so many buyers and buyers agents that are writing in anywhere from 7 to 10 business days for your inspection contingency, which is a long time in this market, and anything that we can do to shorten that time frame is very good and will look favorable on the seller side when they're reviewing offers side by side. So what I like to do is give a quick call to my inspector, let them know, hey, I'm writing an offer on this house in this specific neighborhood. What does your schedule look like? Can I get a tentative date on the calendar, whether it be 3 or 4 days, because 3 or 4 days, comparably speaking to 7 to 10 days, looks a lot better when that seller is sitting there and they're wondering, okay, after I've gone through this 10 days or these 7 days, what if this buyer doesn't want the house? So we want to make sure that we can get in the house as soon as possible, get our buyers through, and get on with the process so that we can remove that buyer's contingency when it comes to inspections immediately. All right, now let's talk about values, okay? Because this is a big one when I'm sitting down with buyers and we are coming up with how to write the offer, right? There's a strategy behind it. A lot of the time, I am looking at comparable properties in the market that have sold recently around that house. And buyers typically are doing the same thing. I mean, they're looking at all of the online resources, whether it be Redfin, Zillow, Realtor.com. I mean, there's tons of different websites that you can go to or mobile apps that you can jump on to look at prices in the neighborhood. And there are times when buyers will come back and say, well, why is this house priced for X when I see that the neighbor's house sold for $10,000 less? Well, in today's market with the limited inventory, sellers can push, right? They can push and get that price because it's all about supply and demand. So if you're looking at inventory and we're saying that there's only 1 month's worth of houses that are available, so if we went through the entire month and nobody put another house on the market, we would sell all of the houses that were in the market. What does that do? It makes the prices go up, and sellers know that, and they can push their price and get a little bit more money in this market. There's always going to be somebody that comes in with cash that does not care about the price, or someone that's going to push over the appraised value. So that's something that you always want to keep in mind. Yes, we're going to look at the neighbors, but we also have to talk about the value when it comes to you. What deems it important to you, right? Are you going to be there for 5 years? Are you going to be there for 10 years? Are you not planning on moving ever again? These are all questions that I like to pose to my buyers to make sure that we understand financially how we're going and putting ourselves and positioning ourselves against other buyers. All right, one of the last things that we're going to talk about is timing. Is it important that you rush out and see that house immediately as soon as it hits the market? That's a good question. And in some cases, in some areas, in some houses, the answer is yes. And in others, the answer is no. It is very important that you understand the seller and the listing agent's strategy. So you want to make sure you're working with an agent that understands the importance of getting out immediately, even if they have to go out and do a quick video so that you understand the flow of the house, not only just looking at the pictures and seeing that they're beautiful pictures. That sometimes is not the deciding factor. It's the flow of the home. How am I going to be able to live in that home? So sometimes having an agent that is willing to go out and actually do a video tour of that house for you so that you can make an offer on that house is important. In some cases, the listing agent is holding off on accepting offers anywhere from 2 to 3 days. They go through a weekend and then they start to look at the offers. It is important that you know these things so that you can either A, get out and go see that house immediately because they're accepting offers first come, first serve, or you have time to relax a little bit and go out and see that house maybe when the weekend comes. All right, last but not least, I know that you've heard from maybe friends and family that have bought houses in the past about the buyer love letter. Yes, it used to be a thing to where you would write a letter and hope to have some type of connection with that actual homeowner. Maybe they had kids, or maybe you went to the same school. Anything that was going to connect you to that person, you could write a letter, talk about yourself. Hopefully they read it, it made them excited about you as a buyer, and they would select your offer. Well, over the last year, they decided against it as a whole because it just didn't align with the fair housing laws, because you could also use that letter to discriminate against a buyer, right? So those letters have since gone away and we're not presenting those letters anymore. They were a good tactic and a good tool that we could utilize to also get our foot in the door. But there are different strategies that we can talk and discuss with the agent about who you are as a buyer in order to set you above the rest. So you want to make sure that you are working with an agent that is willing to come up with these types of strategies to get you as the winner in a multiple offer situation. Hopefully that is me. Get in contact with me to work with me at any time. My number is 503-660-8862, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.